Catchin' Babies. Oh. Season 2.
Welcome back to Catchin' Babies, guys. It's me, your host, Andrea. And we had an amazing summer. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. But I hate to break it to you, but as you can see, it is autumn and it is very cold. And I'm dying. I haven't stepped outside. I kind of stuck my arm out the balcony and I was like, yep, that's as far as I'm going. I can't stand the cold. We have such an amazing thing planned out for you today. We've got another giveaway on Catching Babies. The Moby Wrap Company has decided to give us a Moby Wrap. They are the most comfortable things. I've tried one once before and they are amazing. Enter the giveaway, it's gonna be awesome. Then we have a very interesting version, a very different version of Catching Babies tips for you today. So you've already learned how to find your birth community. You've already envisioned your birth. You've already decided who you want to help you deliver your baby and you've reached out to them and asked for an interview. Now what I'd like to help you think about is what questions to ask. Whether you're interviewing a midwife, a doula, or a doctor, today we've got the top 10 questions we think you should be asking your provider. But before I get into anything else, I know that all this stuff is very exciting, but I got something even better for you guys. I'm super excited to bring you an update from our very own midwife, Joni McCann. Yes, she helped me bring in my 3 children to the world. We are so happy to have her back on the channel. I'm excited to see her face. I miss her so much. And here she is. Enjoy her clip. Hi, Joni.
Well, Joni has been sick, and Joni is trying her best to get her healthy back. I was diagnosed with lymphoma back in November of last year and spent 8 weeks in the hospital. Today, I feel pretty good. Have some births coming up and really excited about it. It was hard to let go of that. I was very excited that after a year of waiting since we did the town meeting last summer, we got the Footprints Foundation to come do a breastfeeding class, and we're going to be planning a class every month with topics like empowerment, what to ask your midwife. We're going to explore with people. I think one thing is very important people should ask a prospective midwife is, how many years have you been doing this? And would you mind if I called some people that delivered with you? And if the person feels hesitant at all, I would take that as a red flag, because transfer is not a 4-letter word, it's not a bad word, and there are going to be times when a midwife has to transport, and hopefully those people would be very happy that their midwife took very good care of them and had the safety of mom and baby at heart. You tell them to ask as many questions as they want, and I would even say that if your midwife says, bring some more questions to your visit if you can think of any, that's a great sign. Somebody should never be afraid to take time and answer questions, because once you get a really good agreement between the two of you that you're going to be there for the delivery and you're a team and you can do this, the birth is the icing on the cake. I think the trust is a very important part of it. I'm a firm believer there are no stupid questions. So I really am glad to be back, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing me today and like the new hairdo. It's coming in naturally here. Yes, this is my real hair. I did not cut it like this. And I appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers and those views and monetary donations. That was well viewed also. So I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
And it's time, guys. That's supposed to be my drum roll. Good enough. I'm excited to announce that we're going to be able to give you a wrap thanks to the Moby Wrap Company. So if you've experienced the Moby Wrap, if you want a Moby Wrap, if you don't know what it is but you think it sounds cool, Moby Wrap, we're about to unveil how to enter to win the Moby Wrap. Step 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Step 2, go to our Facebook page. The link will be below. Like our Facebook page and tag 2 friends. And also at the very, very end of this video, there will be a secret code. There's going to be a set of letters or numbers, or probably both. You're going to message on Facebook that secret code, and your entering to win has been complete. And make sure in the message you put your name and your email address, just in case. Now it's time for today's Catchin Baby Tips. Like we've promised before, we're going to give you 10 questions on what to ask your provider, whether that's a midwife, a doula, or a doctor. When you're meeting them for the first time, it's very important that you have these questions with you. Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. How long have you been practicing? This question is important because you really want to know on the spectrum where this provider is. Is he or she new to this career, or have they been doing it for 30 plus years? That question is going to open up a door to how many births have they had to date. Question number 2. What is their birth philosophy? This is another big factor in determining whether this provider is for you. Your philosophy and what you believe in for birth has to match what they believe in, because I tell people all the time, you can't expect a provider to give you the type of treatment that you're looking for if they don't believe that's how you should be treated. It's like going to a baseball coach and asking him to teach you soccer. It's not going to happen. So make sure that your philosophies and what you believe in and what they believe in coincide. Question number 3. How do they combat negativity, doubt, and fear? This is a good question because it's very important that during labor, how they handle themselves, that their communication style is how you'd want them to communicate with the people in the room, the friends in the room, or even yourself. At a moment of weakness, you need to know how they'll handle your own fears, your own doubts during labor and delivery. Question number 4. When do they make the call during labor that it is necessary to make a transfer to the hospital? How do they determine when a transfer is necessary? What hospital is in the distance that they consider to be safe? You need to know how they do it, how they go about determining whether whatever's going on is an emergency, how they'll communicate that with you and family, and how that whole process is going to get done. That's very important. Question number 5. What is their personal rate of hospital transfers? What's their C-section rate? That's a good question to ask because you're going to be able to see how they practice and you're going to be able to see what they determine is an emergency. Question number 6. How do they bill for prenatal care and birth? So if they take insurance and then take your insurance, great. If they ask for payment up front, do they make you pay in full, or do they have payment plans? Do they let you pay it after? Because you don't want to get into it with a provider, end up making all these plans. This provider turns out to be like the best for you. You really like them. And then at the end find out, wait a minute, I don't take that insurance. Or wait a minute, you've got to pay this much money before the baby's born. Question number 7. How do you get in contact with them in case of an emergency? It's important that you have contact information just in case something happens where you need to get in contact with them and it's after hours. It's good for you to ask them if they have a backup midwife, if they have a backup plan for these cases. It's also good to ask them how often these backup midwives are used and if you can meet them so that you can have a relationship with them as well. Doctors as well. If you're going with a doctor to birth in a hospital setting, it's important that you ask them, well, what if I go into labor during a time where you're not there, or if it's an emergency and you're not available? Do you have a backup doctor? Can I meet that doctor? Do they have the same birth philosophy? Will they treat me how I'm expecting you to treat me as well? Question number 8, which I think is an interesting question. How many moms come back to them after having their second, third, or even fourth baby to have it with them again? You can ask your provider if these moms are open to being contacted. At this point, you have an advantage because now you can talk to a person who already has gone through it with this specific provider, and you can get information on how their experience went. Question number 9. How soon into your pregnancy do they begin prenatal care, and how long into postpartum do they care for you? You need to know what their routine is. If it's a midwife who doesn't have a birthing center, how often will she be visiting you in your home? If this midwife has a birthing center, how often are you going to visit her? If it's a doula, where you guys are going to meet, how many times is she going to visit you before? How long does this provider and patient relationship last? Meetings are important to establish a good bond between you and the provider. Question number 10. Do they recommend any literature local mommy groups, films or educational videos that are specific with your birth philosophy or your birth plan. You can ask your provider if they have any material, any free material, anything that you can borrow, any DVDs or any books. Maybe they have a lending library where you can borrow and get your hands on some good and interesting material. Just start creating a bond between you and the community and you and moms who have gone through and will be going through and are currently going through and all kinds of going throughs that you can compare and ask and relate and learn. It's a good and interesting ride when you start to connect with the people in the community and in the same mindset as you. So those are the 10 questions that I believe that are important to ask a midwife, and that's such a short list. I mean, the list goes on, people. Obviously, there are general questions that I think and anyone thinks that you can ask when considering a home birth or a natural birth, but every baby and every mother is unique. So being creative and asking whatever question you want is all a part of the fun in the process. Remember that the attention should be given to your own birthing needs. That's where the focus needs to go. So whether you have 10, 20, 30, or 100 questions, ask them all. And just as a reminder, guys, you can start asking your questions today. Comment below whatever question you have. And even if you still haven't found your birth provider yet, you can log on to Midwife 101 and start getting your questions answered now. They have so much information on there, I'm not kidding you. So Midwife 101 is another amazing tool and resource. So don't be shy and reach out, guys, reach out. And finally, to end this webisode off, there will be a secret code. There's going to be a set of letters or numbers, or probably both. You're going to message on Facebook that secret code, and your entering to win has been complete. So what? Our pizza's here.